What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis here, your coach of the Helsinki Dragons, and we are back for the APA Academy Week 4 battle when we go up against GrandMaster D.Rey. And very briefly, I'm gonna mention this. As you notice, there's no webcam or layout. That is due to the fact that I'm playing this very early in the morning in my time, and I really don't. I really don't feel like having webcam on. Honestly, I'm at the point that I'm feeling really tired, and once this battle is done and over with, I probably go back to sleep. But either way, we are here to do the battle, and hopefully, because I'm so tired, I won't be having too much of an issue to be able to win this battle. But the matchup is pretty tough. I'll let you know that. Even though you cannot see the matchup in itself, I can tell you that he has Exegil, Dragapult, Togekiss, he has Gigalith, he has Virizion, he has a lot of different threats on his team, and especially his Sand is very hard for me to deal with, or like Exegil particularly. I don't switching to too well on that thing, and if it's under Sand, it's gonna be a very rough time for me, but I have some plans for it. And also he has Milotic as well, which is gonna be always a pain to face. But if you wanna go check more in depth like his team in itself, on just checking out his channel, his YouTube channel link will be down below in the description. But now let's go very briefly my team, and then I get connected with my opponent and I can get this over with for myself and go back to sleep. So we are starting off yet again with our Gigamax Gengar. We are gonna be running Sludge Wave, Shadow Ball, Giga Drain, and Nasty Plot. And Giga Drain and Nasty Plot are there to help dealing with the Milotic. And the nice thing about with running a Crash move this week is that once we go for the Max move, it's gonna provide us grassy terrain, and that ideally would be nerfing the Exegil if it's gonna be relying on Earthquake. Obviously, it could also have high horsepower or Stomping Tantrum, and then it won't be, but then it's a little bit weaker, and if he doesn't do that, it's going to be even better for me. But we are gonna be running Giga Drain here, cause in the regular form and with Nasty Plot, this helps us to deal with the Milotic 1v1, and it's gonna be at max form, or as Giga Max form, it's going to be a very good wall breaker for us. You're gonna be seeing that we are gonna be being also dual screens later on to help out this Gengar set to work out. And then we are gonna be bringing yet again a Choice Scarf Hydreigon. I swear I don't wanna run this kind of set every single time, and I'm thinking about making some either minor or even a major transaction, but we are gonna be seeing after next week that which kind of route I will be taking. But we are gonna be bringing Choice Scarf Hydreigon because we need some good speed control for the matchup, and we are running Dark Pulse, Fire Blast, Flash Cannon, and U-Turn. Flash Cannon is for Togekiss, Fire Blast is for Exegil and Virizion, and Dark Pulse is there to hit the Dragapult in itself, and then obviously U-Turn for momentum. So pretty standard Hydreigon otherwise. And then after that we are gonna be bringing a fully physically defensive Snorlax, which is there to be kind of like a pivot or all-around pivot for a lot of his different mons, because how naturally bulky it can be. And then we run Body Slam and Earthquake with Thick Fat as his ability, and this is all the coverage that I honestly need. I could have run like Crunch or Ice Punch to hit the Dragapult, but Earthquake should be able to break this up, and that's pretty much all I needed for to be able to spawn hits from it. And I wanted to have Body Slam to hit all the other things like Togekiss and get a full para on it, and I could get a full para on Charizard, which he also had. And if the Virizion comes in, it's also nice to be able to paralyze that thing off the chance it's Choice Scarf or anything like that. So I opted to run Body Slam. Hopefully it doesn't bite us in the ass, but we have to say how it's gonna be working out. And then we are gonna be bringing our fully physically defensive QWILFISH with Intimidate, Dual Stab, Toxic Spikes, and Rest. We are bringing Toxic Spikes QWILFISH because he doesn't have a grounded poison type, so ideally I can take advantage of that and get them up ASAP and start whittling down his Milotic and Gigalith a little bit quicker with that. I do anticipate the Milotic to be Flame Up as well, so I kinda have to pull this trigger early if I prefer to get it on a poison instead of Flame Orb burned. And the reason why I think my low deck will be that kind of set, I think he needs Flame Orb Marvel Scale set to wall my Mamoswine, which we are not gonna be bringing this week, even though it was on my team for the longest of time. But you're gonna be seeing that our final two members won't be Mamoswine itself. But QWILFISH here, besides providing toxic spikes, it's also my better ways to deal with Virizion. And Virizion actually was a low-key kind of threatening to me if I didn't bring this mon. So that's what QWILFISH is here for. And then we're gonna be bringing our especially defensive, mostly Rotom, which is going to be pivoting around my Lodic, force it out and get us a dual screens to help out our Gengar and our other members of our team as well, while added by primary the Gengar, so it has easier time to set up the Nasty Plot and just go ham from there. And that's pretty much the Rotom, just to be a pivot and get these screens. It's gonna be having the Light Clay as well to give us the full 8 turns of them, as long as I have the item intact. And then the final member of the team is going to be GCC, the Cobalion, and this one is going to be Air Balloon with Close Combat, Iron Head, Volt Switch, and Stealth Rocks. We are gonna be having Air Balloon cause I wanted to have some sort of way to get out of the sticky situation once Extra comes in and is under the sand and tries to go for the game. And because my team is so weak to it, I felt like that I needed something like this in the back to be able to soft check it. The worst case scenario would be that he Iron Head flinches me, and after that he will be able to just pop me back, but I cannot plan for that. I have to bring this kind of set and bank for the fact that he won't be getting a flinch and I can kill it with close combat, and that will be my way out of the situation. But that is going to be the team, and now I'm gonna be getting connected with my opponent and I can get this battle over with and go back to sleep. So give me just 1 second. Alright, here we are with the battle. We are connected with our opponent, GrandMaster D.Rey, and let's see what he's gonna be decide to bring. Before I click A, I predict him to bring Extratrill, Gigalith, Dragapult, and Milotic for sure. And after those 4, it's a little bit more dicey of what they could be. I could see Virizion for my Snorlax and maybe Togekiss for my Hydreigon. But let's see how right and wrong I am. He also has G-Max Orbeetle, and G-Max are pretty deadly mechanic, as we know, so there's always a chance that opponent does bring that, like we are gonna be bringing pretty much every single week with our Gigamax Gengar, cause that's just how it is. But let's see what my opponent brings. Ideally this battle will go well for us, but more importantly there won't be any disconnects and we can have it pretty quickly, cause as I've been mentioning on the team build, I'm very tired and I really would like to go lay down, but I also need to get this battle over with and move on from the APA Academy from this week and proceed to the next one. But let's see what he's gonna be bringing. Maybe he's doing his intro currently from his side, and that might be the reason why we are waiting a little bit. Hopefully it's not because of something else, but let's see. I might have to reopen my Discord and see if he says something if we are here for too long. But I might be cutting out from here on out if it takes too long until we get to the battle scheme of things. Alright, here we are finally with our opponent. Decides to bring pretty much all I anticipated, except that's a Crustle over Gigalith. So he doesn't bring Sand, but that's still a Mold Breaker Extra, but that's okay. That's okay, cause I do have speed control for my Hydreigon to outpace that, and pretty much everything else except the Dragapult. But Crustle is scary, cause it can be a setup sweeper or it can be a hazard stacking lead as well. So I might lead one with my QWILFISH just to be able to deter it as much as I can and get up my own T-Spikes if possible as well. And he could lead up with Virizion as well, considering how well it matches up versus majority of my things. So I'm gonna be leading up with my QWILFISH. If it's a Crustle lead, I'm gonna be probably just liquidated down from there on out. Versus Extra 2, at least I get an Intimidate off versus Virizion, I can just T-Spike on versus Milotic, the same thing, because I have Resto Chesto to gain my health back versus Togekiss, I have Snorlax, and same thing for the Dragapult, I have Snorlax, so I feel like overall wise I can kinda react from here quite well with my QWILFISH, but him bringing Crossow is definitely a little bit spooky, because I'm not sure if it's the Shell Smash variant or it's gonna be like a hazard stacking lead. And I didn't bring Remover this week, but I do have dual screens, so ideally if he brought D4, I can force him to do that. Or maybe he relies himself for Rapid Spin on Extra, and we have to just maintain the hazard game that he might be having. But he's gonna be leading off with the Virizion, so I'm happy that I got this lead right. And he decided to lead with the mod that does match up quite well versus majority of my things, but here I'm pretty much free to go for my T-Spikes, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna be going for. If he goes for the Sword Dance, I can live a hit and proceed to go for the Poison Jab, but I don't anticipate him to stay in here. I think his best play always is going to Milotic, and there's a good chance he will be Flame Mob Marvel Scale as well, but I'm gonna be getting out my T-Spikes. I think how the swapping works is that the Milotic, if it swaps in on this turn, he might not be affected by the T-Spikes just yet, because I would get them up after he's already in. But we'll see, I don't actually remember quite well how that is working, cause I'm gonna be mentioning this several times. It might be the title of the video that we have a very sleepy coach over here. But he does go into the Dragapult, so that's his initial play. But that's fine by me, I'm gonna be getting up my T-Spikes right from here. And now we're gonna see what he's gonna be doing after this. But I'm gonna be just hard swapping into my Snorlax. If he U-turns into Extra, I'll just EQ the shit out of it. If he feels himself pressured to Rapid Spin himself away. And that's pretty perfectly fine for me if he feels like that, because I have several opportunities to get the T-Spikes back up. But the Extra would not have any kind of form or recovery in itself unless it's running Rest in itself. But or he happens to have Wish as support from Togekiss, but we are gonna be seeing what he does. I'm gonna make very obvious play into my Snorlax, but there's no reason for me to risk my QWILFISH. But let's see what he does. He does drop a Draco Meteor, and while we are not specially defensive, Snorlax is very specially bulky naturally, and that did a good amount of damage. I'm gonna quickly see that if he's Life Orb or not. I don't think he was. So I might as well check it very briefly that how much a Choice Scarf Dragapult should have done with the... How much it should have done to me if it's Choice Scarf, because then I can tell pretty quickly that if it's a damage boosting item or not. And he is... He would be doing 111 the most. So I feel like that could have been a boosting item in itself, but I'm gonna be going for the rest just to be able to gain my HP back. And basically from here, if he hard swaps out, I can tell that he's choice locked. But yeah, he's not choice locked, so that could be like a boosting item, or it was a very high roll, so it would have done that 40%, and he's then just modest with this thing. But I'm gonna rest up to ensure that we are still living. If he goes into the Milotic, he has to now be affected by the poison instead of the Flame Mob in itself, which I'm perfectly fine with. But he does, yeah, he does go into the Milotic perfectly fine. I would anticipate it to have Haze or Dragon Tail, and that is why he would have gone into it. But we just go for the rest just to ensure that we get this one off. And now I probably just hard swap into my Rotom and get my screens going from there on out. And now that's gonna be doing the 12% into the Milotic. If he does predict this, so be it. But I have special bulk on my Rotom and I can light screen up afterwards. So I can pretty much look at the team review, like what is the most necessary screen. I might go for the Reflect first, if anything. But we're gonna be going to the Rotom. And let's see what he does. He does go for the Coil. Very interesting. He's a Coil Milotic. Okay. I need to get the Reflect up. But it wasn't, because I thought this would be the set. And he is leftovers over the Flame Mob set. So curious to see if he's gonna be having any kind of air balloon, or reducing berries from his side once I see this battle, or maybe throughout the battle. Because I really would have thought this is a flame offset, so he didn't get really murdered by a life form Mamoswine from team review. But either way, we are here and now, and I don't have the Mamoswine, and the situation is that we have a coiling Milotic in front of us, and now I just basically have to go for the Reflect. He does go for the Ice Beam. He is faster than me, which is unfortunate, but I do get my Reflect up first. So he's coiling. I think he's pretty much coil set just to kind of nullify a potential curse sets, and then he's mainly just a special attack either way. So it's not like a super heat set after all, like a, I don't know, coil, liquidation, and what have you. But now I just go for a light screen, and after this I pretty much can go into Gengar and start murdering this thing. But he's gonna be going for the Ice Beam again. I guess the better way would have been that I would have gone for the light screen first. But we get up it right now, so now I can go for a slow Volt Switch from here on out and go from there. Or I could go for the Leaf Storm, which would have been also doing good amount of damage to him. So I might consider actually Leaf Storming here over anything else. But let's see. He could have the Exegir in, bring into the Exegir, expecting a Leaf Storm. Or he could go into the Dragapult, but I might go for the Leaf Storm just to guarantee some damage. If I do a massive damage to this Milotic and he picks me off, so be it. And if I happen to even live this hit. I do happen to live the hit, which is really nice. But I do get frozen on the third time. Okay, we are thawing out before I get myself any salty. Let's go, Rotom. Okay, that was a very huge play. Okay, Rotom. You scared me for a second. I already, you heard from my voice, I was already feeling the salt in my veins. But that's pretty beautiful, cause that's already my Milotic gone, and my Rotom is still alive as a sack, and I have dual screens up, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. A lot better than I thought, honestly, how this would turn out. I thought my Milotic would be the last member that I could kill first, but that's pretty huge. Milotic is obviously, as we know, very, very painful thing to take down. And one of my better answers to it was already very weakened. But now, he does go into the Exegil on the following turn. So this could be a turn where he just tries to go for the Rapid Spin. But the other option would be that he goes for the Earthquake. But one of the plays that I could do is that I go into my Hydreigon and go for the Fire Blast. I could go into my Snorlax, but that's kind of risking a potential Sword Dance set from his behalf. I could go into Gengar, but that's way too risky. I think I do the Hydreigon play. If he goes for the Axis, I can leave it and see how he goes from it. But I guess the other option would have been this, that I just stay. But I feel like he might go for the Rapid Spin first. And he does go for the Earthquake. Okay, we should be taking this quite fine, because we do have the Reflect up. And now we are gonna be checking yet again what he had. He has the Togekiss in the back. And yeah, he has the Togekiss in the back that probably will switch into this. But I think I'd rather just go for the Fire Blast either way if he happens to stay and go for the Axis, or thinking that he can live any hit. But he does swap out. Probably Togekiss is gonna be coming in. That's Time Storm. Okay, that's a Virizion. Wait. Please land this. Please land this. Okay, we are landing this. We are doing good amount of damage to you. Okay. That did a good amount of damage, and with the poison. Okay, I really like that. He is preserving the Togekiss. But we got that one out of there. And now I can pretty much go into my QWILFISH, which is dedicated check to this thing. And I have a Resto Chesto if I need to keep the QWILFISH. I might have to keep it in the back just in case for the Crossdoor in itself. But now I get my QWILFISH in. I get the Intimidate off on this Virizion. Let's see what he does. He is Synthesis on it. Okay, so this is some sort of like a pivot, I guess. Maybe the Togekiss is then offensive, and this is like his way of getting around with the... getting around my Hydreigon. But now I could see myself probably clicking Liquidation of anything. So I'm gonna be doing just that. Off the chance he makes aggressive play into Exegir, because then I could be doing good amount of damage to him. or he goes into Trackable, and then it doesn't really matter which one it's going to be. But he does go into the Trackable, which is fine because it was resisting both of my attacks anyway. So I'm gonna be going for the liquidation, just covering a potential extra 2 play. And we should be doing about a 20% of health. We do get a defense drop, so off the chance he would go for the Draco Meteor again on this Snorlax, and I get an Earthquake off. I'm gonna be doing a lot more. But either way, I'm gonna be making my safe play and go into my Snorlax here and see how he's gonna be responding to this. He might go for the U-turn expecting this. That's honestly what he should be doing, and that's what he does. So good on him. Let's see what he decides to do afterwards. I do still have the Reflect up, so the Grass Toll is technically still somewhat in check. And I have the QWILFISH in the back just to intimidate it down, so I'm not still in a bad spot if he brings it in. If it's a setup variant. But we'll see. It's a little bit spooky because it's in the back all this time, and now he does go into the Virizion. So, curious to see if he tries to make any kind of double on this turn. But I don't really mind, I guess. Reflect wore up right now, so now the Reflect is not saving my ass from the Cross Soul anymore if he happens to get the opportunity. So, on this turn, I guess I just go into QWILFISH. If he makes a double, I might sack Rotomoa, but I want to preserve the Rotomoa as a sack for extra 2, because that's probably the mode that I really still struggle the most to deal with. So, we are gonna be going to the QWILFISH, get the Intimidate off on him. Let's see if he happens to stay in or not. He does go for the Sword Dance, okay. He's trying to break me down, but that's perfectly fine. Because I do happen to be fully physically defensive, and I still have Resto Chesto if I find the opportunity to heal myself back up. But now we have to attack this thing. We cannot mess around whatever he would be doing. If he swaps out, he leaves himself very, very weakened. But let's see. He does go for Synthesis. Okay, maybe he's banking on the fact that I don't have a Poison Jab. But I do have it, my guy. I do have it, and I'm still two-shotting you, I will think. So, QWILFISH does go for the Poison Jab. Oh my god, we are doing so much damage to him. QWILFISH might have just taken you down with the... Okay, there you go, QWILFISH. I like what I'm seeing right now. So you pop that thing with the poison, and you took care of it without taking any kind of damage. So QWILFISH is still very, very valuable to deal with the Cross Zone and slow it down with the Intimidate and Liquidation it down. But now he does go into the X-Chill, and this is pretty much where I could sack my Rotomo. But then again, I could also... Nah, I'm not gonna yet pull the trigger with the Cobalion. I wanna preserve the Air Balloon. On the worst case scenario, I let him have the Rotomo now. Off the chance he goes for a Rapid Spin, for example, or go for the Axisor to hit my Hydreigon harder. But he does go for the Earthquakes. This is perfectly fine. And we're gonna be seeing what he does after this. And for myself, I could still go into the Cobalion, to be honest. And that's probably what I'm gonna be doing. And from there on out, I'm probably gonna be going for the Close Combat. He does see that I am Air Balloon, so that's perfectly fine to him. This is also another way to deal with the Crosso if it's setting up. So I still like that quite a bit. So let's see. I could see him really hard swapping into the Dragapult or to the Togekiss, because he should not be staying in. So I'm gonna Iron Head first, because I don't think he should be staying. He should be paying attention that I have the... Yeah, he saw that I have the Air Balloon. So I'm gonna be going for the Iron Head, and we see the Togekiss coming in. So I'm gonna be getting some good damage on you. And he does have the Babiri Berry. Probably for my Hydreigon if anything, but it's nice that I pop it already. And now I know I can go for the Volt Switch for free. And proceed from there. So that was a nice turn that we were able to pop that Babiri Berry. Off the chance it ever comes in play. But this could be also his Defogger, so this might be a turn that he goes for that. But right now, let's see. I could pull the hard prediction and go into my Gengar here. I could go into my Snorlax as well. Snorlax is pretty safe. Snorlax is pretty safe, so I'm gonna be doing that just at first to see what kind of Togekiss this happens to be. I don't wanna risk a Thunder Wave coming to my way. And he does go for the Flamethrower, so we resist this. Thanks to our Thick Fat, so I'm glad I didn't go into Gengar and risk taking too much damage for no reason. And I'm pretty much free just to pull off a Rest Talk at this point and see what I get out of it. Just to burn out one of the turns. So he does go for the Wish, which is fine. Now it would be pretty ideal that I do get the Body Slam off and see what he... if we happen to get the para from it, but let's see what do we do get. We do get the Body Slam, that's really good. Can we get the Paralyzation as well while at it? We don't get the Paralyzation. But I'm pretty much in a position that I'm just free to go for a Sleep Talk again. I have to go for another one so I can burn out the Rest Talk turns. But now I could see him just going for the Air Slash just to ensure that he receives this Wish. If he swaps himself back out, he leaves himself very open to my Hydreigon. So I think his only play is to stay in, go for the Air Slash, or he happens to run Protect, then he would go for that. But his guy cruised with Flamethrower thus far, so maybe he might not even have Air Slash, so he might be like Flamethrower, Dazzling Gleam, so that means that I don't have to worry about flinching shenanigans. So I'm gonna just wait to see that what I pull off. And I pull off a Earthquake, which is funnily enough because he just went for the Roost, so I still get the damage off, but it won't matter because he's gonna end up back at full. But this is still pretty solid because I can go for the Body Slam here and making sure that I get a full para, or just getting the status on this thing, which would be really nice to have because then Cobalion can potentially beat it down. But he does swap out. And he does go into the Dragapult, which is fine, even if he predicts this, because after this I just go for the Earthquake and I do good amount of damage. So he does swap out, but now he has to take the round of Poison Recall, and now I just go for the Earthquake. And something has to take this in, so I'm pretty fine where we're at right now. I still have to watch out for the Crustle, but I do have the Cobalion to help to deal with that, and I do have to watch out for the Exegil, but that's basically the same story with that. And Hydreigon looks to be the fastest mon in this game, so it's definitely a winning condition right now for me, because it should have the speed control over everything, unless they are going to be able to split their defenses up. But he again swaps back into the Togekiss, so I'm not sure what the end goal is for my opponent, because he cannot stall me out forever, because that Dragapult will eventually die to Toxic. So PP stalling is not his play, to be honest, so I'm just gonna go for the Body Slam. I guess he is trying to just find an answer for himself, what should be his play. But he does go for the Dazzling Gleam, which is gonna be doing a decent amount of damage because we are not specially defensive. But we get the Body Slam off, but we do not catch the para just yet. But we are just gonna go for it yet again. No reason not to. And it's scary turn for him, because whenever I get it, then the Togekiss obviously always has a chance to get paralyzed. So we're gonna be going for the Body Slam right here. I might go for the Earthquake on a following turn. And we do get the Paralyzation. That's pretty nice. So now I think I go for the Earthquake, just to make sure if the Dragapult would come in, it doesn't get the chance to receive that wish. So I'm gonna be going for the Earthquake, off the chance he does that. But it's really nice that the Togekiss is now being paralyzed, and he does swap out. Let's see what he tries to whiz it back into. Yeah, he does try to whiz it back into this, but I do get some damage on off him with that. It won't be taking him out by any means, but it should keep him somewhere lower amount of health than he would be otherwise. And we can pay... Okay, he has definitely some HP investment on that Togekiss based on how much he was still able to gain from that. But that's perfectly fine, because again, he is still remaining low amount of health. So I'm gonna be going for the Earthquake again. He doesn't really enjoy dealing with this thing right now, 1v1 at all. And now he does drop the Draco Meteor here. And we should be able to tank this quite well. as we do. And from here on out we just get the Earthquake off and see how low amount of health he would be remaining at. That should be 2 rounds of poison that should be taking him out, I would like to think. Maybe it may end up having to be 3, but let's see. Yeah, that might be that I need 2 rounds of Toxic Recall from that, but that's pretty okay, honestly. I can go for the Earthquake again. If the Togekiss comes in, I just can body slam it yet again. I don't really worry about it too much. He does go for the U-turn. Hopefully goes into Extra predict me to go for rest. That would be pretty much ideal. Not gonna lie, cause then I would get a huge amount of damage to him on that turn, but let's see. Let's see what he does. He might feel pressure to try to make a aggressive prediction here to put himself back into it, and that's what will be the case. And we get the Earthquake off. Maybe he was willing to take the Earthquake damage anyways, but I'm really glad that I can get this off, because now it means that I don't have to risk a Fire Blast miss anymore on this guy. So that's quite nice. And here I can see that what would be my play. I could use my QWILFISH as a pivot for this, which seems pretty risky in itself, but I don't want my Cobalion's Air Balloon to be popped, so I might do that kind of risky play, because he knows I have Air Balloon in the back on my Cobalion, so he should not be clicking Earthquake and give me that free momentum. So I'm not gonna be making very odd play, but even if I get this run, I still get this Exotier on -1 attack. So let's see, he does go for the Iron Head, so now I could see that if he's choice locked or not, but either way I get a free liquidation off on here. So I'm gonna be just doing that. And he felt pressure that he had to go for the Iron Head, so I'm glad I made that play. And now we're gonna be seeing if he's choice locked or not. He could also still swap out even if he's not, but yeah, he might be choice scarf Exotier on that thing, so I'm glad I made that play. And now I can go for the liquidation, and the Dragapult might be dropping down here to this. If not straight out of this attack, it should drop to the poison. So we get the Dragapult out of the way, so that's now one less thing for my Snorlax to worry about. Even the Togekiss now is being paralyzed, so that thing is a little bit more manageable. But let's see what he does now. He has the Exotier left, he has the Crustle left, and he has the paralyzed Togekiss as well left. So as long as I don't make myself vulnerable to the Crustle and the Exotier, I should be fine. And Cobalion really helps with the two, well, pretty much all of those 3 actually at this point, because the Togekiss is also paralyzed. So I like my Cobalion at the late game, and he does go into the Exotier. And at this point, I'm pretty free just to stay in here, I think. Because I should not allow my Cobalion to get the Air Balloon pop, so I might just stay in here or let my Snorlax go. Snorlax might be the other play as well that I could do. Do I lose? I don't lose to the Togekiss anymore, so I think I'll let the Snorlax go down instead of my QWILFISH. QWILFISH's Intimidate might still come in handy, so I'll let the Snorlax go down here, depending on what he does. And he does go for the Iron Head. Let's see how much this is taking from it. I might actually leave 2 of them, which is fine, funnily enough. But he went for the play that he needs to do. I'm glad that I have Air Balloon on my Cobalion, but now I just go for the Earthquake off the chance I live this hit. And if he happens to stay in, if he swaps out, I still get the damage on something else. Unless it's gonna be the Togekiss, which, if it's going to be that, it's already been paralyzed, so I'm not too worried about that. And at this point I might just go into my Gengar and just get my kill from there on out. Let's see. I could make honestly the Gengar play. I already seen his full moveset, so I might as well try to get rid of this thing. And I could see him going for a Wish or a Roost in itself. But let's see. He does make a double. And he goes into the Crustle. Okay, that's his play here. Okay. Interesting play. But I think what I can do is that I just G-Max with my Gengar, and I have the grassy terrain to be able to get up as well to weaken this thing. So I might go for the G-Max Terror. Let's see, I have a little bit of time. I'm gonna be checking how much Crosshaul. Max 8, well, not max HP. I don't think he can afford to be max HP at this point if he's set up. So Gengar with Dynamax, how much my moves are doing to you. Overcrow should be two-shotting you, so I could be going for that just to ensure that I have the grassy terrain up. So I think I'll do just that. This means that if he sets up, the Earthquake will be a lot weaker. And I should be able to still two-shot him. And even if he's 30, the Max Terror would not be able to OHKO him. So I think this is the best play just to ensure that this thing doesn't get out of hand. And Gengar can also kind of nullify the Exeggutor pretty much with this. So we are gonna be G-Maxing here. Go for the max Overgrowth and weaken down potential Earthquake what he will be running. And this should be doing good amount of damage to him. Just to ensure that he will be in a range of another one. Or I can go for the Max Terror after this. But this pretty much cover a potential Shell Smash, Cloyster. Not Cloyster, the Crosshaul. Yeah, he does go for the Shell Smash. So now we have the grassy terrain to help with us. And this also means that at the late game, even the Exeggutor is a little bit nerfy if something goes wrong here. But now, he does gain a little bit of recovery, but that's perfectly fine. And now what I can do is that I go for the Max Terror from here on out. And let's see what he has. I would think that it's pretty weird for him to predict a grassy terrain. So now he might be in a very tough spot to think that, oh, he got the grassy terrain up, what the heck do I do here? But I feel like he still has the Earthquake, so I'm pretty glad that I made this call. I'm definitely using my G-Max a little bit better than last week. Last week, if you didn't see it, that was pretty horrendous way that how I played my battle. But now I'm a lot more happier than how I've been playing thus far. He does go for the Earthquake, and it won't be taking us out because we do have the grassy search up. So I'm really happy about that. That meant that my Gengar doesn't go down just yet. And we take down the Crosshaul. So now the only thing that I have to still worry about is that Exeggutor in the back. And I now have the grassy search up, so I can make a decision to max guard, see what he locks himself into if he goes into the... yeah, he goes into the Exeggutor. So now I just max guard, honestly. See what he locks himself into, and then he's pretty much checkmate situation. So I like that as my final turn of way of using G-Maxing, just to see what he locks himself into. I also gain a little bit of recovery if I need this thing still to kill the Togekiss, which I still might. I don't have other ways to really kill it well, so I'm definitely want to preserve this Gengar. And we go for the max guard to see what he locks himself into. He locks himself into Iron Head, which is perfectly fine, because now I can go into my QWILFISH and the Togekiss should not be able to beat that thing 1v1, even if he makes a double. So very happy with that extends right there. I used my Gigamax, kind of just positioned my late game perfectly. And now, as long as the Exeggutor has not been pulled as a choice scout throughout the entire battle, and he has been happened to be bluffing it, we should be pretty much good to go here. He does go for the Iron Head, which will not do too much to us, and we are able to gain a little bit of recovery here, as he is able to as well, but that should not really matter too big of scheme of things, as long as I have my Cobalion in the back. But now we go for the liquidation. He hits the Togekiss and ideally leaves in a range of the Poison Jab if he would do that, but he does stay in, and we go for the liquidation, and this should be taking it down. And QWILFISH getting another kill, man. Like, what the heck, QWILFISH? I didn't expect you to actually get kills in this battle, but I'm very happy for you. You definitely came in clutch. I'm really happy that I brought you over Mamoswine into this battle. Like, my god, that was a headache and a half to decide not bring or not to bring Mamoswine in this matchup, because it did pretty well versus his offense, but I was really worried about that Milotic. But now, either of his hits are resisted by my QWILFISH, he is paralyzed, he is low amount of health, so there's a good chance that my QWILFISH gets another kill here. as we go for the poison jab. I don't know how much this is gonna be doing because I don't know his spreads and I don't remember top of my head how much a defensive QWILFISH does with the poison jab. But maybe we can get another kill, and we do get another kill with QWILFISH. What the heck, man? QWILFISH, the GOAT, the MVP of the match, alongside the air balloon Cobalier. Let's not sleep on the fact that how big of the air balloon prep was in the end on my Cobalier and how well it was able to pressure my opponent. I'm happy that I put that over Shockaberry, but good game to GrandMaster D.Rey. Thank you for his patience, cause he had to wait me a couple of days after I got my stomach ache out of the way, which I still don't know where it came from, but thankfully as of right now, as I'm recording this, it's already pretty much dealt with. And now I can go back to sleep, to be honest. I'm more than anything, I'm happy about I can go lay down and go to sleep. But go make sure and check out GrandMaster D.Rey. I have watched some of his videos. He also made the live stream for this season as well. So definitely make sure to check him out. Very nice guy. And we also happen to be both friends of GCC. So I kind of know a little bit about him already before the battle in itself. So make sure to check him out. His YouTube channel will be down below in the description. And until we are back for the APA Academy Week 5 battle, and until the UBL semi-finals for ourselves is going to be unfolding, it won't be uploaded next week, I believe. I'm gonna be looking at the date right now so I don't mess this up. So the Wednesday of the 1st of April will not be an upload day from my behalf for the UBL, cause that is a bye week for me for round 1 playoffs. But this should be going up at 3rd of April. So this is the only upload from this week, unless I happen to be able to get something else up. But now my opponent is already connecting with me on Discord and talking about the game. So I'm gonna be leaving this at that. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next week of the UBL semi-finals battle. I don't know who I go up against, but I know that there should be an upload by then. I would think, knock on wood, if not, there's have been a delay. But until upcoming uploads, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.